second phase of polling today. 64 seats across 7 states are at stake today. 15 seats in East Uttar Pradesh, including, as Alan just pointed out, the Gandhi bastion of Amethi are going to polls today. 25 Lok Sabha and 175 assembly seats in the Simandra region are voting today. The other states also going to the poll include Himachal Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar and Jammu and Kashmir. Joining us on Closing Bell for a mood check on this important polling day, Vinay Tiwari of CNN IBN. Vinay, hi, good afternoon. First, a quick word on the turnout that we've seen in some of the key areas of polling today.
Well, I think it's going as per expected trends. I think every single phase, Menika, has seen record turnout, and I think today is going to be no exception. Remember, the data that you get at this point of time is not updated to the last hour, so the polling would actually be a little higher than what is being reported officially. And I suspect by the time polling ends by 6 or so, you would see a record turnout yet again in all the areas that have gone to polls today, Menika.
Vinay, hi, good afternoon. What's happening in Amethi? Because, Twitter is full with, a lot of complaints from BJP and Kumar Vishwas in terms of what's happening on ground. What's the latest update you're getting from there?
Lots of reports of in-party violence that's going on, rather minor violent incidents between party workers.
Yes, and I think part of that is reflected by the presence of two very high decibel parties. Both Smriti Irani and Kumar Vishwas are very high decibel campaigners. So it's very active on social media as well. Both Aam Aadmi Party and BJP is very active on social media. So a lot of fight is actually only on social media. It's not as bad on the ground as it seems to be on Twitter, frankly. Of course, there have been skirmishes. Remember, Kumar Vishwas has been camping in Amethi for the last 4.5 months. And he knows now virtually every single village and backline there pretty effectively. Smriti Irani has been a very effective campaigner in that district. In fact, a lot of people have been surprised at the efficacy with which she has run the campaign. And she's actually, made a huge impact on the kind of campaigning we've seen in Amethi for a very long time. Committee has been used to seeing a very one-sided election with hardly any opponent in the fray. So it's really, kind of thrilled the atmosphere there. And you're seeing this skirmishes that are happening today as part of that re-energized opposition. How are they going to stack up,
Vinay? Vinay, what's your assessment? Is it going to be Rahul, Smriti and Kumar Vishwas, or Rahul, Kumar Vishwas and Smriti, or Smriti, Kumar Vishwas and Rahul?
Well, I'll stick my neck out on that, Menika. The contest is between Rahul and Smriti Irani. I'm not too sure Kumar Vishwas is in the contest, even though he spent a much longer time there. Remember, the Modi has actually taken this battle to another level by personally going there and campaigning, and this has not happened in Amethi for a very long time. We've not had an opposition leader of that stature coming to Amethi and actually doing a massive rally, which will not only have impact on Amethi, but also on Sultanpur, where Rahul Gandhi, the other Gandhi member, is also contesting from BJP. So it will have an impact on that region for sure, and you'll see a much tighter finish this time as opposed to the previous elections in Amethi, Menika.
West Bengal? How's West Bengal going to go this time round, Vinay?
See, West Bengal has seen a bit of an interesting turn in the sense that there has been polarization there, and there has been some talk about BJP gaining ground. But this gaining ground in terms of actual conversion to seats may not necessarily happen. I think the only seat where Babul Supriyo is the only candidate where he seems to be in a bit of a fight. But beyond that, it is TMC still holding ground in that state. I think they're just far too entrenched into the system, the local style of governance. But there has been polarization, and you've seen the kind of poll pitches, the campaign talk that has happened was directly aimed at polarizing, and it's part of a very well-crafted, careful strategy both by the BJP as well as the TMC, and that's pretty much what's playing out even today, Menika.
Vinay, what's happening in Simandra? Because the sense we are getting is that there's a bit of an anger from voters, and there's been a lot of polling in Simandra. What's the sense you're getting from that particular area?
Yes, that's right. And I think Andhra has been a high voter turnout state in that sense. But this phase particularly is the phase of the regional parties. Every single state you will see there is one regional party's future and existence at stake. And in most of those states you will see them doing better than expected. In Simandra, as you mentioned, YSR's legacy is at stake with Jagan fighting a very intense battle. I think he's really fighting for his izzat, as to say, because he's pitched it very high. And that's part of the reason why you see this high-pitched campaign that has happened. There have been some reports of Jagan not exactly doing as well as people had expected. But then Simandra is a tough state to predict because of what has happened in the last 6 months. It's become very different from what you used to see earlier. And that's why it's a slightly difficult state to predict which way will go. But Simandra is really about YSR holding ground or not.
Are either Mamta or Jagan likely to be BJP allies at all? I mean, we've seen such vitriol between the TMC and the BJP in the recent weeks. And again, Jagan is that one card that nobody knows how to play.
Well, Mamata's case is certainly should not be looked at from Lok Sabha point of view. Mamata has an assembly election to fight, and I think all her cards are aimed and linked to that. Remember, state CMs will make noises on the national scale, but their real outlook is for the next assembly elections. And for that reason, I see any truck between Mamata and BJP very, very unlikely. Jagan has been very clear about his position. He's always said that whichever party promises him a united Andhra is the one he's going to support. In the last week of the campaign, the bitterness, in fact, there was a period in this campaign when both Modi and Jagan were not attacking each other in any rally. You would hardly see them actually exchanging any kind of, adverse comments. In the last week before the polling, the gloves were off, and actually both the tone and the tenor of their speeches changed, and you could see both of them attacking each other. So I'm not too sure if that will happen, because BJP is now pretty much committed to the idea of a divided Andhra. So it's very unlikely that Jagan will actually come out and support BJP post-elections.
So none of the voting today in West Bengal or in the Simandra region is voting that could potentially aid BJP. In fact, they've got only UP to go with today and maybe parts of Bihar. Is that a fair assessment, or have I got that wrong, Vinay?
No, absolutely. I think today's election for the BJP is all about UP and Bihar. Remember, this exact seats that went to the polls in 2009, BJP drew a blank. There was not a single seat that the BJP could win out of the 15 that have gone in UP today. So for them, this is their only chance at the turnaround story, so to speak. This was the phase where BSP did very well last time, and that's why even for BSP this is important. So this phase for the BJP is really about UP and Bihar. So all the plus seats that they're looking at to take themselves closer to the halfway mark will have to come from these two states. Remember, the RJD is on a bit of a comeback trail in Bihar, and today with Rabri Yadav in the fray from Saran, which was earlier called Chapra in Bihar, is another principal opposition in Bihar, which seems to have slightly dented the BJP story, because last elections BJP was in alliance with JDU and had done well, but this time there is no alliance, and you have a stronger RJD in the middle.
Okay. Vinay, in fact, that's my next question, because a lot of people believe the next two phases, I mean today and the next one in UP, would be the make or break factor for Narendra Modi. In that sense, how do you look at his campaign over the last 1 week or so? Do you think he's going for broke? He senses momentum, or do you think he's sensing that maybe he's falling off a bit, and that's why he's going out to this caste factor maybe in the last 1 week?
And that too is going for broke, so to speak, right?
Indeed. So how do you look at
absolutely,
that?
I think without a doubt, both of you are absolutely right. Remember, as you move eastwards and southwards, the BJP's influence wanes. That's the historical perspective of India. As you move east and you move south, BJP's influence and command and the turnaround is wanes. So BJP was largely about northwest monsoon, as Rajdeep keeps saying very often, and that's what you're seeing. The elections in UP are moving eastwards, and that's why this particular part is the part where last time they did not do too well. As you rightly said, the campaign pitch in the last 1 week or 10 days or so has shifted to caste and religious polarization, and this is a skill and an art that Modi has mastered. He has done that in the past in state assembly elections, and every time, sometimes when he sees he's cornered or he's fighting a battle, he uses this very effectively, and that's why you see he's not missing any opportunity to hammer home the religious or the caste identity in the last 1 week, and that's why development is pretty much out of the campaign pitch for BJP in these last two phases.
Vinay, sorry, quick last 10 seconds. Voting so far leads you to believe, based on your assessment, that the BJP is going to do 220, 230, or better or worse?
No, I don't think the turnout is directly a referendum on how well BJP is doing. I think the turnout is definitely a referendum on how badly Congress is going to be, because there is anger, and I think people come out in larger numbers when there is anger. The numbers also increase when contests are multipolar and people have and there is a keener contest in fray, and all states are seeing a far more keen contest than before, and that's partly the reason why there is a greater amount of voting percentage. Also, the youngsters are coming out and voting in much larger numbers than before. But yes, the high turnout does mean that there is some anti-incumbency which is going, and the benefit of this should largely go to a principal party in that particular state. Now, which that party in that state is going to be is where the real question of BJP comes in.
All right, Vinay, the turnout in itself is heartening enough. Thank you very much for joining us, Vinay Tawari there of CNN IB, and talking you through today's 8th polling phase. Now we're going